Hello friends, in this video we are going to see how to install a Iperf on a Ubuntu machine and check the network bandwidth. So here Iperf runs in a server and client mode. So we will also see if Iperf is not running, we will see the behavior. Let's get into the video. To install Iperf on a Ubuntu, first let's log into the command line interface CLI as a root user, or if you don't know the root user, you can also use sudo. And the command here I'll show you the command that can be run with the root user to install a Iperf. Iperf is an open source. It can be used downloaded on Windows, Linux, any of the terminals, and can be tested, and it can be cross-function also. You can connect between two different systems and on a different operating system and then get installed. So here the command is apt install Iperf. In my system I have already installed Iperf, so I'm not going to use this command again, so that is the reason I'm just showing you the command alone. So once Iperf is installed, you get an option called Iperf. When you type Iperf, it will give you the usage, and you see there is a option help, Iperf help, to get a more information. So Iperf, when we put Iperf with the help option, we get a lot of options, and we can understand a bit more how to use this Iperf by using this help option. Iperf -h or the help will give you the list of options that can be used with the Iperf command. Usually Iperf works in a server client mode, so for client server mode, so you have an option for running it on a server using a -s that runs in a server mode. To be running on a client as a client, you should use an option -c, and also with the IP address. Here I did not have two different machines with Linux, so what I'm going to show is in one of the port in the same machine, I'll be running as one place as a server, where and on the other terminal I would be running a client with the same interface, which means I'm running Iperf on the same system, on the same IP address, with one side as a server or one side as a client. Just to show you as an example. So here in this CLI, and I'm going to use an option Iperf yes. So that will be running as a server in this terminal. On the other terminal, I'll be running with Iperf -c with a interface or IP address, and we can see the moment we started, we will see the bandwidth, transfer rate, all those details. So here is the command. I started it with type of yes, so it's listening on a port, and when I run on other terminal with the IP address, now the connection between the server and client is established with the port number 47892, and the transfer happened with the 46.6 gigabytes and a bandwidth of 40 Gbps, and client gets terminated after this run. But if you go and see the terminal where server is running, it still will be listening to the client.
Good.
Where this is on a server side, it's still listening and it doesn't come out from, whereas client side, at the moment the test is completed, it just comes out. So we are retesting again. Now you see there's a differences. Port number is changed. Earlier it was 47892, now it is 38198, and even the transfer rate and bandwidth is slightly varies now. So this experiment you can do with two different systems. Both can be a Unix, or both can be a Windows, or it can be a combination of Windows and Unix, Linux, 80 flavors of Linux.
Sure.
And you can test the interface speed through this means. Now let's see, we have started the Iperf on one of the CLI, so server is stopped, and let's see the behavior on the client side when we start a client without a server. What is that error that we are expected to see?
Sure.
So when I start now, we get a message saying connection refused. This is because the server is not started, and the client tries to establish a connection to the server, but there's no server running, so that's the reason we get a connection refused. And the moment we start the server again, and when we try retest the same scenario, we don't have a connection refused. Instead we get it connects to the server, and again a file gets transferred, and we see internally how it works is some file gets transferred, and we see the bandwidth and the transfer speed. Hope you know have learned how to use the Iperf. Start.